We are praying. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come out under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interest you've committed to our charge. Amen. Madam Clerk, could you please take us through the orders of today?
Order paper number 314 of today, Thursday, 12th June 2025 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order, Madam Clerk.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of the report of PICPA Committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Kisumu County Urban Project, Cash Expenditure Account Financial Year 2023-2024, and Kisumu Urban Project, that is Project Urban Account Financial Year 2023-2024.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, PICPAC, pursuant to the Standing Order number 188 of the Kisumu County Assembly, I'm pleased to present to this House the committee report on the examination of Auditor General's report on the financial statement of Kisumu Urban Project Cash Expenditure Account and Project Advance Account for the financial year 2023-2024. The committee held 2 sittings during which it reviewed the Auditor General's findings and received both written and oral submissions from the city manager and his team. The Kisumu Urban project, implemented between 2012 and 2022, was designed to promote inclusive urban development through improved municipal infrastructure, land governance, and public policy frameworks. The committee made a number of observations. First, both the cash expenditure accounts and the project advance account still reflected unresolved prior year audit issues, with management failing to provide satisfactory justifications on documentation to support corrective actions. Secondly, the project account had not been closed by the end of a review period, and there was no financial activity during the year under review. Third, the handover of the project's asset to the implementing entity, the City of Kisumu, was not conducted within the expected timeline. Although a handover report was eventually produced during the committee deliberation, Lastly, correspondence reviewed by the committee revealed that the National Treasury had raised concern over an eligible pending bills amounting to Kenya shillings 101,352,253. In addition, project advance account showed verified but unsettled pending bill totaling to Kenya shillings 31,575,700 shillings as at 30th June 2024. In light of these findings, the committee made several recommendations. On the matter of unresolved prior year matters, the accounting officer should initiate appropriate administrative actions against officers responsible for failing to implement and report on prior year audit recommendations in line with the Public Audit Act 2015. On the matter of ineligible pending bills, the City of Kisumu, in collaboration with the National Treasury, should urgently verify and resolve the flagged pending bills to ensure proper closure of projects. A progress report on the verifications and settlements of the ineligible bills amounting to Kenya shillings 111,352,253 shillings should be submitted to the County Assembly within 60 days of the adoption of this report. Furthermore, upon settlement of all verified bills, the accounting officer should fast-track the closure of all projects related to bank accounts and submit a closure report to both the County Assembly and the Office of the Auditor General within 90 days. Honorable Speaker, I wish to express my appreciation to the members of the committee for their deliberate dedications throughout the period of culmination of this report. I also thank the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the Assembly, the Office of the Auditor General, and the Committee Secretariat for the invaluable technical and logistic support provided throughout this process. On behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, I now wish to present this report and urge this House to adopt it. Mr. Speaker, I hereby request Mr. Speaker, I hereby request that this House adopt this report on the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the consideration of Auditor General's report on financial statement of the Kisumu Urban Project Cash Expenditure Account, financial year 2023-2024, and the Project Advance Account, financial year 2023-2024. May I call upon Honorable Omolo to second?
Yes, the Honorable James Omolo. Thank you, honorable members. A motion has been moved on a report of the Public Accounts and Public Investment Committee on their examination of the Auditor General's financial statement of Kisumu County Urban Project Cash Expenditure Account, financial year 2023-2024, and Kisumu Urban Project Urban Account, financial year 2023-2024. A motion moved by the chair and seconded by Honorable James Omolo. Now I propose to put a question, then we open this report for debate. Yes, Honorable Tom Nyaoke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the report that has been just read by the able chair, Dr. Ouko. What I want to pinpoint in the report, Mr. Speaker, is a series of some issues that normally keep on appearing, and I want to thank the committee for having seen this as a major setback, particularly in terms of this report, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is that point 4.2 that talks about the non-closure of projects and handover of project assets. Mr. Speaker, in any project that is being financed, be it by the county government itself or be it from our foreign partners, Mr. Speaker, there are specific guidelines to guide on when the files or when the project is supposed to end, and subsequently when the financial accounts should be able to end at that particular time. The time frame of these particular projects is properly identified and outlined, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I can see the committee did also observe that there was some delay in closure of the project and then the subsequent handover to the employing entity, Mr. Speaker. This normally provides a window that, if not taken and not considered in good time, can lead to misappropriation of funds that may have not been used at the particular time of doing these particular projects, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, save for the other responses that have been given here, I want to thank the entity also for having done quite a lot to respond to the query, the auditor queries that were put before them. But we have seen from this report that there's a lot of administrative issues that were not dealt with appropriately. Mr. Speaker, I think it is good that as we look at this document later after the adoption, as my prayer will be to adopt this report, and as I speak as a member of the implementation committee, and I'm glad my chair is also around, Mr. Speaker, we shall endeavor to make sure that the recommendations and the observations that have been seen and recorded here by the PICPAC committee, Mr. Speaker, will be looked into so that the next report, a similar kind of report, should be devoid of such anomalies. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support.
Yes, the Honourable Member for Koloa East.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I also rise to support the report which has just been read by my able chairman, Honourable Kennedy Ouko. Honourable Speaker, there is this recommendation that the accounting officer immediately fast-track the process of closure of the project account upon settlement of the pending bills. In the report, we have realized that there are some bills that have not been paid, which are still pending. And we thought that maybe the balances in the account are not enough to pay the pending bills. But the accounting officer had reported that the money which is in the account is enough to settle the pending bill. I think the sooner the better for us, because we even have cases elsewhere whereby the pending bills have multiplied due to the attraction of interest, and now whatever we have is not what was there initially as the principal pending bill. You may realize that sometimes they even multiply by more than 10 times. So for us to avoid this, let the accounting officer use the money which is there, follow the due process, so that the pending bill be settled and the account be closed. Also, what has caught my attention, Honorable Chair, is the unresolved prior year matters. I think this one has been a thorn in the reports that sometimes come to the assembly, the PICPAC reports, whereby sometimes some of the members lament that good recommendations are given, but no action. I think it is the work of the committee to bring the report, and that is the work of the committee. Not to act because they cannot act on behalf of the what? Of the accounting officers or the entities. And also, we realized that there are some lapses also in the Act, because if I refer you to the Public Audit Act 2015, Section 31, Part 1, then it says, within 3 months after the County Assembly has debated and passed the final report of the Auditor General and made recommendations, a public entity, like now the City of Kisumu, shall submit a report on how it has addressed recommendations and findings of the previous year's audit. But you realize that same act has not gone ahead to state that failure to do this, what happens? So that is where our hands are tied. They have failed to do this, but now what can we do? Because the act does not spell out what we should do when they fail, or the punishment that should be leveled against the officer who has failed to do this. So I urge the honorable members, as a house, it is our responsibility to follow up so that all that is supposed to be done by the entity is done as a collective responsibility, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, I support this report with its recommendations. Thank you.
Yes, the Honorable James Were.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also rise to give my voice on the report. Mr. Speaker, going by the recommendation and observations of the committee, it is very clear that the Kisumu City, under the Kisumu Urban Project, tried their level best and attracted the unqualified opinion. It means that whether they got unqualified opinion, still there were matters that were flagged off. And Mr. Speaker, one of the matters that were flagged off was about pending bills, the unverified pending bills, that we as an assembly should ensure that that is done properly and a clear picture is painted and put forward so that they can be settled, so that it can't be flagged in the coming financial year. Mr. Speaker, also again, one of the recommendations was about the prior matter. Mr. Speaker, we just want to put a lot of emphasis and a lot of effort to the management so that they can ensure that the best practice is put in place, the Financial Management Act is followed to the letter, so that in future we can even have the best opinion more than this. And I believe with the support that they are going to get from the Assembly, Mr. Speaker, I believe the future audit opinions will be even much better than this. So let us not just relent. Let us put a lot of effort. Let us push them to the corner so that they can do their best. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I beg to support.
Honourable members, seems members are satisfied with the contributions on the report. I want to request maybe one of them to ask the mover to reply. Yes, Honourable Memili.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to call the mover to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me thank the members who have contributed and the House at large. Mr. Speaker, we have some issues here. The auditor's opinion was unqualified. I want to bring correction to probably members who are not very keen on this. Unqualified opinion is the best opinion so far in the land of Kenya, according to auditor's report. We did not have any problem in terms of finances and such kind of things. But most of the issues here are administrative. So according to the Auditor General's report, opinion of the auditor, it means the opinion of the auditor is clean. It is a clean opinion. Opinion that is not modified to suit something or to distract the fact from the book. Mr. Speaker, we gave recommendations on administrative issues, how they should be handled from the House. Mr. Speaker, we also had matters on prior year matters. Just as said by Honorable Akwach, we have a constitutional timeline on dealing with auditor's report. Then there is also a directive that from there it is required by any entity being audited to report within a period of time to the assembly on the recommendations or what they have done on the recommendations. Mr. Speaker, the main problem is failure to do that. What do we do? So that is where the problem is. So there's something wrong with the act concerning that. Mr. Speaker, this constitutional timeline, it is within 3 months after submission to the assembly. We also have issues on pending bills. Mr. Speaker, the accounts were not closed. These accounts are controlled by the national government. You must seek authority from the national government to close these accounts. Mr. Speaker, they proved through their correspondence that they had requested the national government to give them authority to close these accounts. Until then, Mr. Speaker, the cities, the fund administrators' hand are tied. Before they get that, or until then they get that, Mr. Speaker, that is when they will be closing. So probably if they don't give authority to close these accounts, it will turn as a prior year issue on the subsequent audit report. Mr. Speaker, those are some of the issues, and I beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you, honourable members. Honourable members, a motion has been moved on a report by the Committee on PICPAC on their examination on the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Kisumu Urban Project Cash Expenditure Account, financial year 2023-2024, and Kisumu Urban Project Advance Account, financial year 2023-2024. A motion moved by the Chair, the Honorable Kennedy Ouko, seconded by the Honorable James Umolo, debated by the honorable members, and I propose to put a question for the adoption, that as many as of the opinion that we adopt this report say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. Thank you, honorable members. The ayes have it, and the report on the examination of the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of Kisumu Urban Project Cash Expenditure Account, financial year 2023-2024, and Kisumu Urban Project Advance Account, financial year 2023-2024. A report from the Committee on Public Accounts and Investment has been adopted today, Thursday, the 12th of June at 14:57 hours. Honorable members, I direct that this report and its recommendation be availed and a follow-up be done by the Committee on Implementation. Thank you, honorable members. Next order, Madam Clerk.
Order number 9, motion. Approval of the motion on the matter of development of regulatory guidelines and allocation of funding for the use, maintenance, and protection of public sporting facilities in Kisumu County.
Yes, Honorable James Were.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise again to move a motion that aware that pursuant to the Article 55 of the Constitution of Kenya, the state and by extension the county government is obligated to take measures including legislative, policy, and administrative actions to promote youth participation in sports, and further that sports development is a devolved function under Part 2 of the 4th Schedule to the Constitution, specifically assigned to the county government. Mr. Speaker, noting that in exercise of the powers and functions, the county government of Kisumu has developed and continues to invest in public sporting facilities intended to promote physical fitness, nurture athletic talents, foster community cohesion, and provide accessible recreational opportunities to the youth and general public. Further noting that, despite such investment, the absence of comprehensive, transparent, and enforceable guidelines and regulations governing the use, allocation, and maintenance of the public sporting facilities has resulted in 1. Unregulated and often inappropriate use of the facilities, including their use for non-sporting events such as political rallies, private functions, and commercial events incompatible with their core purpose. 2. Physical deterioration and damage of the sporting infrastructure. 3. Inequitable access to facilities by organized sports group and youth organizations. 4. Inadequate budgetary prioritization for the routine and preventive maintenance of the said facilities. Mr. Speaker, acknowledging that the principle of public finance management under Article 201 of the Constitution requires openness, accountability, and effective financial management of public resources, and that failure to allocate adequate funds for the maintenance of public sporting facilities risks wastage of public investment and violate these principles. Mr. Speaker, recognizing further that the Public Finance Management Act 2012 mandates county governments to promote responsible financial stewardship and ensure that appropriate funds are used for lawful and intended purposes, which includes preserving the usability and the value of existing public assets such as sports infrastructure. Cognizant that the Sports Act 2013 provides a statutory framework for the promotion and development of sports in Kenya and mandates government actors to ensure that sports facilities are properly managed and maintained to serve the interests of the public and support sports development. Mr. Speaker, deeply concerned that the continued misuse of public sporting facilities for the non-sporting purposes without regulatory safeguards constitutes an abuse of public resources, undermines the rule of law, deprives youth of their right to access appropriate recreational facilities, and exposes the county to financial liabilities through accelerated deterioration of assets. Mr. Speaker, now therefore, in furtherance of the obligations imposed by the Constitution, national legislation, and principles of public administration and good governance, this Assembly resolves as follows. 1. That the County Assembly Committee member responsible for sports be and is hereby compelled to develop and submit to this Assembly within 60 days of adoption of this motion comprehensive and legally enforceable regulatory guidelines and framework governing the use, management, and protection of all sporting facilities within Kisumu County, which guidelines shall include provisions to define eligible use of such facilities, expressly prohibit the use of public sporting facilities for non-sporting events, establish procedures for equitable and transparent allocation of access to public facilities, provide for penalties and enforcement mechanisms to deter and punish misuse, and, Mr. Speaker, that the County Executive Committee member responsible for finance be and is hereby compelled to allocate through the county annual budget adequate and ring-fence public funds specifically dedicated to the preventive maintenance, upgrading, and protection of public sporting facilities. Three, that upon adoption of these guidelines, the County Public Service Board, the County Public Service and enforceable agencies be directed to ensure their full and consistent enforcement and to report quarterly to the County Assembly on compliance and enforcement actions taken. 4, that this Assembly asserts that any continued use of public sporting facilities for non-sporting purposes after the adoption of this guideline shall constitute unlawful use of public property, actionable under applicable laws, including but not limited to Public Finance Management Act 2012, and the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, and the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act 2003. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would request Honorable James Omolo to second. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable James Omolo.
Thank you. I knew you would get me. Thank you, Chair. Honorable Speaker, I beg to second the motion. Mr. Speaker, we have facilities in this county, and sports is a devolved function of the county government of Kisumu, and we need to use the facilities that we have prudently. As it is now, if we don't put regulations on how they are best utilized, we are doing injustice to our sportsmen and women, and therefore this motion comes in handy to put in place how these facilities can be guarded. Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground, which is Jaramogi Sports Ground now, the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium down there, and Moi Stadium in Kachok. These are facilities, and several others in our sub-counties. These are facilities that are only meant for specific sporting activities. And what has been happening is the haphazard use of these facilities, which need not to occur. As a legislative body, I think we need to come up with the regulations to regulate all the happenings, all the events. And again, these are revenue streams for our county government. And if we don't put in place how and the way they should be managed in terms of getting revenue correctly, then we are not doing the right thing. So in this motion, I think those are things that we can guard and we can rectify, and it will even enhance us establishing more and even enhancing the ones we have, like the ones I've mentioned and several others in those sub-counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second.
Thank you, honorable members. A motion has been moved on the approval. A motion has been moved on the matter of development of regulation guidelines and allocation of funding for the use, maintenance, and protection of public sporting facilities in Kisumu County. A motion moved by the Honorable James Were and seconded by the Honorable James Omolo. And now it's time to, I propose to put a question that we open this motion for debate. Yes, Honorable Tom Nyaoke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by thanking the honorable member who has just moved a very important motion about, and that talks about our sporting facilities in the county. Mr. Speaker, in his report, he has mentioned two very important and fundamental things that we need as members to make sure that we put in place if we really have interests in sports facilities in our county, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one of the very important thing that he has mentioned is that the Public Finance Management Act 2012 mandates county governments to promote responsible financial stewardship and ensure that appropriated funds are used for lawful and intended purposes, which includes preserving the usability and value existing public assets such as sports infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, we do many a times appropriate funds to make sure that we keep our sporting facilities usable at all times, Mr. Speaker. And by allocating these funds for these various sporting utilities or areas, Mr. Speaker, we put public funds to make sure they are in good use. Mr. Speaker, but if you come to the point that the same facility that we allocate funds for, when it comes to maybe like a football pitch, for example, then we start bringing in musical extravaganza in such utilities, Mr. Speaker, that one is tantamount to misuse of public funds which were intended for specific purposes, Mr. Speaker. And that is what the law is also expressing itself about. Mr. Speaker, the next one is that the Sports Act 2013 provides a statutory framework for the promotion and development of sports in Kenya and mandates government actors to ensure that sports facilities are properly managed and maintained to serve the interest of the public and support sports development. Mr. Speaker, when we allocate funds into this house for such facilities, Mr. Speaker, we do recommend, and we have to recommend going forward. And that is why I support entirely this report, that going forward, Mr. Speaker, we are able to allocate funds to do exactly what we think those utilities are supposed to be done for. If it is a matter of maintenance, let us maintain our sports facilities for the specific use that we are using them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, right now, if you physically go, even a physical check on the sporting facilities that we have in Kisumu County, none of them looks like we are allocating funds to have them done or to have them maintained, Mr. Speaker. I think going forward, by adoption of this report, it will be upon ourselves to make sure that all the sporting facilities that are within our county are up to at least a minimal standard that any player or our players or those who are intending to play will be able to enjoy those facilities. With that few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support.
Yes, Honorable Ken Ougo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me congratulate Honorable Were for coming up with this. Mr. Speaker, this is a high opener to the County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, really we are relying on national act, but we have never domesticated.
Order, Honorable Nancy Matara and the Deputy Speaker and the mover of the motion, the Honorable James Were. Order, Honorable members.
Maybe it doesn't want us to go.
Order, Honorable members. I request that you consult in law terms.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have never domesticated the National Act by bringing ours, a bill, and now if we have an act, we can talk about regulations to ring-fence whatever we are talking about now, Mr. Speaker. That means we are still behind in one way or the other. But, Mr. Speaker, we have to put things very clear. There was a time some of the very major parks within Kisumu, which were done with the same fund, which was edited by the Director General here, same accounts. Mr. Speaker, the parks were handed over to the county government in a very good state. Mr. Speaker, when you go to these parks now, you will find them bushy. The laws are not maintained. Everybody just get in. We have very protected areas like the beaches, which don't require any assembly, like hosting events like Prince Inda. We are destroying what we have made with a lot of money. You realize even the pending bill is over 111 million concerning what was done in these parks. Whoever was given this opportunity to run these parks are running down the park. It's quite unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. When you go to Victoria Park, Mr. Speaker, it is under lease by the municipality, but it is not kept. It is the grass are not cut. It is an eyesore because it is just next to the governor, and we expect the best. The best is not there. Maybe because we don't have a regulations. Maybe because we don't have an act domesticated in this house. Mr. Speaker, it is advisable that as the oversight authority in the counties, we must act on this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you can't enforce a regulation without without passing it as a law in this house. It must be an act first. So that one is a loophole. We need to work on that. Mr. Speaker, really, now when we come to accessibility of these parks, they are being charged, Mr. Speaker. When you go to probably swim in Victoria Pool, which is a public park, it is being charged. We don't understand really what is happening. We can't really quantify what they get against what the county is getting. Is it a road deal or something like that? So, Mr. Speaker, we need to come up with the proper regulations to ring-fence what we can claim about in this. I therefore challenge the Committee of Sports to come up with a bill, it become an act, then now we can do a regulations to handle these issues. Mr. Speaker, without all this, probably it may be an exercise in fertility. But for one, we must show that it is our concern and we must act on it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Yes, Honorable Maurice Ngeta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the report before us, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have been having a lot of youths across the county, Mr. Speaker, upcoming youth who have a lot of talents, Mr. Speaker. And the challenge we have, Mr. Speaker, is our facilities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are all aware that we don't have enough facilities across, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, more so within the city, Mr. Speaker, where we are, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have a lot of facilities even in our sub-counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the only challenge we have is transparency and accountability, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have seen a lot of challenges. The other time, we allocated some funds to Moi Stadium, for instance, Mr. Speaker, but the end result is not sounding, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I would urge my able chair and the entire committee whom I serve, Mr. Speaker, to be more vibrant so that we can help our upcoming youth and we can help the department, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I don't have much, Mr. Speaker, but I would wish that we do the correct thing so that we can save this great county going forward through our youth, Mr. Speaker. I beg to support.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First and foremost, let me start by informing you that in the order paper, there was a slight error. The author of the motion was Honorable James Were, but
Order, honorable member. I want to rule you out of order. Because we had read the orders in this house, and we are in the last order of the house, which is a motion that has been moved, and we are debating. We are not discussing the orders of the house, honorable member. Order, honorable member. We are not discussing the orders of the house. We had adopted the orders of the house, and we are on the 8th order, as it stands right now. And we are debating on the motion.
it is the same motion that I'm debating on. The only thing I wanted to maybe bring your attention that it is written there, James Omolo, but it's supposed to be James Were. Now, Mr. Speaker, as I continue debating on the said motion, I want to say that Honorable James Were had very good intention as one of the MCA who come from the city, and especially Kisumu Central, where most of these stadiums are. And I think in his own wisdom, he had analyzed and seen that we are not using some of these facilities that we are endowed with well. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what came to his mind. Maybe he was looking at the former Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground. And today, maybe how things are being done, it is amazing. And from him, he sees that as a county, we don't have a proper law reference where we can say that these things are actually used well. My colleague, or Honorable Keno Ouko, has just put it well, that the person who has this on the other side, the executive side, the committee member representing this docket that we're talking about, has not formulated any policy towards this. And this has forced an honorable member to actually come up with a motion to remind the CC member that this area needs a lot of policy. And from the policy, we need a bill. From the bill, when it's converted to an act, then we can come up with a regulation. I want to say that so far, one of the areas that we have not utilized well as a county and a department that is supposed to be so active is the Department of Sports and Culture. We're not seeing many activities being done, and yet we have facilities. We are not seeing laws coming in place so that we can always engage most of the young talents that we have, and yet we have a committee member in charge of the docket. So in the support of this, Jomo Kenyatta, that's now known as the Ramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Ground, I've seen many uses the facility maybe to rest like any other park. Others use them for meetings. This other side of the park, there are those who take photos there, and there are many activities going on the said sport ground. If you go to Moi Stadium, you'll find a number of activities going on, same to the other stadium in Mamboleo, where mostly you'll also realize that musicians, big musicians and other activities tend to take place. So, Mr. Speaker, in support of this motion, I think the best and most important thing that we need to do first is to let Waziri or the CC member for that docket come up with policies. Or now she best think how to manage those activities or the policy regarding the sporting sporting, I can say the institutions that we have or the grounds, playing grounds that we have within the county. And to some extent can also gazette it to make sure that we know the playing grounds within the county. And from the gazettement, we can always see what county can allocate and know what belongs to us. Above all, the idea of music and other things happening within the county, I think if we have a policy, we can also be asking the government, whether the county or through the national government, so that we can also have halls that we can also do other activities, Mr. Speaker. And I think all this will only be possible from the prayers of the motion, that a policy, guideline, and regulations, when they are there, we might have a lot of things that we might know where to start and how to follow up on any issues that is arising.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I want to recognize that Kisumu County does have a Kisumu sports policy, which was discussed in the third assembly. I think we need to talk about an act and maybe a regulation, but not a policy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I believe the Honourable Kelvin, you stand guided that already we have a Kisumu County sports policy.
Mr. Speaker, I will agree because the Deputy Speaker is the one raising the information. Perhaps maybe she was on the chair when that was being passed. But the point that is at least there is that we need a bill. We need, after a bill, you know, the regulations and the guidelines so that we move as a county. Most of these things that we're talking about are not within our reach, are not within the reach of the people we represent. And above all, Mr. Speaker, I, as an MCA representing Kolwa Central Ward, I've seen many teachers, many schools are closing their fencing their schools and denying young children a space to play or practice. This has become a problem. And these are some of the things we can use if we have a regulation or even an act so that we can reason with many of these head of institution. So, Mr. Speaker, the mover of the motion had a good thought for the county, and we really support this motion of his. And we are praying that within the 60 days, as written in his prayers, let us see something being done by the said department. I support the report, the motion.
The Honourable Nancy Matara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also stand also to support my vice for the good proposals he has brought to the House. And thank you, the DS, for correcting that you have a policy. And now I think you're talking on the development infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, first I want to say that do we really have what we call sportings, that we have the sports facilities, or we do have the empties? Pitches. Mr. Speaker, we are going to mandate the executive, if they can develop the regulations and we adhere to the regulations, I think we are going to protect our sporting facilities. Mr. Speaker, if you say that this Department of Sports, when we come when we come into the revenue collection, you find this is the department that has the least percentage of revenue collection. And Mr. Speaker, always this do happens because they do say that most of the time they waiver out and they don't charge for the activities being done in the sporting facilities. But if we are going to waive for everyone, then how are we going to maintain our pitches? So to me, I would request the executive to move in speed to have these regulations, so even that we can protect our sporting facilities. I support. Thank you.
Yes, there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the adoption of this motion. But Mr. Speaker, we may need to ask ourselves, we are talking of sporting sports facilities in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, I wonder whether we have sports facilities in Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, allow us start with Moi Kachok. Mr. Speaker, you go there and what you find there is a pitch and benches. I don't know what other facilities are there. The policy, Mr. Speaker, talks of nurturing talents. I don't know what kind of talents can be nurtured in an empty field, and you rarely find a simple facility or equipment like football balls or even, nets. Mr. Speaker, they are not there. And Mr. Speaker, we can remember that the last time we were training with the executive for CASA and Kikoska, most of the time they were even borrowing our tug of war rope. Mr. Speaker, we don't have facilities in Kisumu County. Before we seek to protect or take care of the facilities, we need to, take count of what we have, develop the facilities, and then protect. We cannot be protecting what we don't have, Mr. Speaker. Setting aside or appropriating funds to develop such facilities, Mr. Speaker, is called for. But then, Mr. Speaker, we may need the department to give an account of what they've been doing in this sector for the last 3 years. Monies have been appropriated to develop the sports sector. What has been developed so far? The policy called for the development of, what Honorable Oraro and the Honorable Chair Sports is talking about, an act and a regulation thereof. Mr. Speaker, 3 years down the line, we are still waiting. Maybe I want to call upon the Honorable House that it is time that one of us comes up with a bill in support of sport, because I don't see the department interested in developing and nurturing talents from our youth. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, the essence or the intention of the motion is good, but I don't know what we want to protect, because we seek to protect what we don't have. But I support nonetheless. Honorable Were is my brother. I don't want to shoot what my brother has brought. It was brought in good faith. And so, Mr. Speaker, we need really to seek to develop sports and nurture talents in Kisumu County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. I think I know we have sporting facilities, including one in Seme, in the Honorable Mildred Ajumbo's ward called Pap Kadundo. I know Manyata doesn't have a. I know Manyata has one school, one dispensary, and so if you don't visit these other wards, you might not be able to know that we have sporting facilities. But you can pass by Moi Stadium and Jomo Kenyatta. But
Mr. Speaker, there are empty pitches without any facilities.
Member, That is what the honorable member is talking about here, that we make a regulation on how to use them. But I'll take you to Pap Kadundo so that you can see it. Yes, honorable member, we are debating on the approval of development of regulatory guidelines and allocation of funding for use, maintenance, and protection of public sporting facilities in Kisumu County. The Honorable Regina Kizito, MCA representing the interest of youth.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you. By the mood of the House, may I call the mover to reply?
Yes, the Honorable James Were.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to sincerely thank the entire Honorable House for the overwhelming support towards this motion and your contributions that has made this debate lively concerning the motion before us. Your unwavering support for this motion is not only a reflection of our collective commitment to debates in this House, but also shows the commitment to protecting our public infrastructure. And it is also a strong signal to the youth of Kisumu County that their talents, hopes, and aspirations are being prioritized. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank honorable members for the input that they have put, for the contribution that they have made. And I believe with the regulation or the act if put in place, shall give us guidelines on how we need to manage, improve the sporting facilities that we have within this our county. A case in point, Mr. Speaker, I can remember when we were training for our county assembly games. At one point, we could not train at Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground because a good pitch where we were supposed to play football, the school buses were full, were fully packed directly on the pitch. So according to me, that was not a priority. We converted the pitch. Instead of having us play there, it became a bus park. Mr. Speaker, several times, Moi Stadium, instead of hosting soccer and football events, you find the artificial turf that costed a lot of money. It's having tents erected directly on those turf. Instead of directing those meetings to be staged outside the stadium in that big parking, that's why I saw it wise that let us come up with something that is going to guide and regulate the usage of our facilities. Mr. Speaker, going forward, I urge this House not only to push for immediate reforms, but also to call for ring fencing of funds allocated to sports development. This will ensure that resources meant for maintaining and upgrading of our stadiums and promoting sports are not diverted to unintended purposes. We need to ensure that these sporting facilities are improved and upgraded, not only within Kisumu Central, but in all sub-counties, so that we can give equal opportunity to our people. Whether you come from Nyakach, Moroni, Kisumu East, Seme, Nyando, we have equal opportunity for our people. Because I can remember there's a day we were participating in a football tournament in Moi Stadium with Mheshimiwa Honorable Bill Oliver, Kubura MCA, Kubura Ward MCA. And we had a player who was injured simply because he fell on a ditch. Those are drainages that county can do. If you go around that pitch, since that pitch was handed over to the county, there's nothing we've done. Not because we don't have money, but because we've not set our priorities right. We've not put regulation that is going to safeguard the interests of our people. I know if we upgrade all these our facilities, we will ensure that we have also good revenue that comes out of it. Why would we spend 30,000? Why would we collect 30,000 for Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium, only to end up spending 500,000 in maintaining it? Is it a good deal? Is it value for money? Those are the things that we need to correct as an assembly. And that's why I decided to bring this motion. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I also want to conclude by thanking the office of the Speaker for seeing it wise to allow this motion to come to the floor of the House. It will help us move forward. It will help us make good changes, which will be to the best interest of our people. Otherwise, I beg to reply. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. A motion has been moved on the matter of development of regulatory guidelines and allocation of funding for use, maintenance, and protection of public sporting facilities in Kisumu County. A motion moved by the Honorable James Were, seconded by the Honorable James Umolo, debated by the honorable members. Now I propose to put a question for adoption. That as many as of the opinion that we adopt this motion, say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion, say nay. Thank you, members. The ayes have it. And the motion on the matter of development of regulatory guidelines and allocation of funding for the use, maintenance, and protection of public sporting facilities in Kisumu County has been adopted today, Thursday, the 12th of June at 15:40 hours. Honorable members, I direct that this motion and its recommendations be taken to the Department of Sports, Culture, for implementation of the recommendation and a follow-up of the same be done by the Committee on Implementation. Thank you, honorable members. Next order, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business in the order paper.
Honorable members, let's remain standing. Remember, there being no any other business to transact, this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, 17th of June, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.